Hi, I'm Dave Machado with Advanced Trenchless, and we're on a sewer replacement job today that we're going to be pipe bursting and replacing the old tar paper sewer line that has collapsed and is no longer functional. This is a piece that we've actually pulled out of the ground, and there's other parts of it that actually looked worse than this. What we're going to be doing is what we call pipe bursting, where we're pulling a burst head through the old line using a 30-ton hydraulic puller and pulling in a brand new 4-inch high-density polyethylene pipe that's been fused together, and so it's a one-piece consistent pipe which will renew this pipe for up to another 100 years. So once we're done with this, there should be no more issues with their sewer line. What we're showing you here is a sample of what they call no corrode tar paper pipe. If your home was built in the 50s to early 60s, this was a commonly used pipe by contractors, and it had a 50-year design life, so most of it has well surpassed its life cycle, and almost anything in the ground from that era is going to be in need of replacement. If your home was built after that, there's a chance you might have clay tile, which then can be relined, avoiding this type of excavation. But in the case of the tar paper, once it's gotten to the point that this pipe has gotten to, the only method then is to pipe burst it, and that's what we'll be doing today, and you'll see the rest of the process as the video goes. Here we have a typical hole that we would dig at property line when doing a pipe bursting job to access the old pipe, and we have our 3/4 inch steel cable here, which gives us the capacity to be able to pipe burst and replace the old line. It's going to be feeding through the old pipe into the house where we have our pipe bursting machine, which will attach to this cable, and that'll give us our pulling power. So Fenner's going to feed it through the old line right now into the house. What we're going to be doing now is we're going to be laying out our high density polyethylene pipe, which we fuse together on site. So basically every 25 feet we have a weld, so there's no actual glued couplers or anything like that. It's a seamless, jointless pipe, and every 25 foot there's a weld, which leaves just a small, not even 1/8 of an inch bead, and gives it the strength that it'll never come apart, never have a problem at any of those joints. The nice thing with high density polyethylene is it gets attached right to the burst head. This is the burst head that we hook to the cable, and it gets pulled through, and you can see the high density polyethylene pipe actually gets attached right to this head. So by the time this head gets to the other end, we've replaced the line, and we've only opened the hole up by an additional 3/4 of an inch to accommodate the size of the burst head and allow us to pull this in without much drag, yet keeping the pipe perfectly straight and in line with your old pipe. Now that we've planed both faces of our pipe and they've joined together perfectly, they're butted up tight, we can go ahead and heat our iron up to its 450 degrees, and we'll be welding these two sections together here. We're going to hold this under pressure for a minute, and we're going to watch our bead. As our bead starts to roll, it'll roll the plastic as it melts, and we need to see about a 1/8 of an inch bead on either side, and that tells us that we've got enough heat and enough melting in the pipe to create a good solid weld. So we're almost there. And we have it. So now this gets pressed and locked in, and it's held under pressure. Now the machine will just simply hold it in place and maintain the pressure we need until it cools down and the weld is completed. Okay, so now we've gone through the process of facing the pipe, butting it together, getting a good joint. Now we've put our plate in there, we've heated up the pipe, melted the plastic so that we could get the weld, and now we've compressed it and we have ourselves a good weld here. So we're going to go ahead and take the pressure back off. and undo the clamps, and we've moved to the next joint if we need to do another section. Right now we have 50 feet of continuous pipe that this joint will actually be the strongest portion of the pipe. So we'll have one joint in this 50-foot section, and we're going to go ahead now and move down and pull, attach the burst head to it. So you can see here we have our joint, which is now fused and 100% strong, and it'll never allow any type of root infiltration or ever come apart once it's buried underground. This is another one of the unique parts of our process, is that the pipe is actually attached right to the burst head and pulled in. There's actually jaws inside the head here that once we tighten it down, they open up and squeeze and grab the inside of the pipe, therefore locking it in so that it can't come apart once it starts getting pulled. So we're going to go ahead and attach this to the pipe now. So here we have the end to our 3/4 inch steel cable that will get attached to the burst head, and this is what's going to allow us to pull this thing into the ground and burst the old pipe. So we're going to go ahead and insert it into the head. Once that's in place, we bolt it in so that there's no chance that this thing can slip out, and it allows us easy removal once we are at the other end to get the head back off. And now that's complete, so we'll be ready to start pulling this thing into the ground and continue on with our pipe bursting job. So now our second joint is fused together, so now we have 75 feet of pipe in one continuous section with only 2 welded joints. Hi there, we brought you back today to have a look at this job now that we've got it all completed, and we wanted to show you how non-invasive this type of technology can be. And this is the finished area over here, where yesterday we had a large hole with a large mound of dirt, and this is how it looks the day after.